You wake up and look at the ceiling. The morning light is filtering through the blinds, and you feel a rare, genuine wave of optimism. Today is the day. You have exactly one important thing to do today. It is not even a difficult thing. It is a single phone call to cancel a subscription, or perhaps it is replying to 3 important emails. A normal person would sit down and complete the entire sequence in 15 minutes. You have given yourself the entire weekend to do it. You feel good. You feel motivated. You tell yourself, I'm going to get up, make some coffee, sit at the desk, and just get it out of the way. Then I can enjoy my Saturday. You make the coffee, you sit at your desk, you open the laptop, but then a thought enters your mind. You cannot possibly make this phone call or write these emails until you have cleared the clutter off your desk. The visual noise is too distracting. So you gather the empty cups and take them to the kitchen. In the kitchen, you notice the dishwasher needs to be emptied. You empty the dishwasher. While putting away the plates, you notice the counter is sticky. You start scrubbing the counter. This feels good. You are moving. You are being productive. But it is a trap. This is productive procrastination. You are doing everything except the one thing that actually matters. 2 hours pass. You return to the desk. The laptop has gone to sleep. You tap the spacebar, the screen lights up, and there is the tap, staring at you, waiting. You look at the phone number you need to call, or the email draft sitting empty, and suddenly an invisible, impossibly heavy blanket falls over your brain. The motivation from this morning is completely gone, replaced by a strange, dense fog. You tell your hand to reach for the phone. Your hand does not move. Come on, you think to yourself. Just pick it up. Just dial the numbers. It will take 5 minutes. Why are you being so lazy? Just do it. But the word lazy does not capture what is happening right now. Laziness is a choice to relax. Laziness feels good. You are not relaxing. You are agonizing. Your heart rate is climbing. Your jaw is clenched. You are expending massive amounts of mental energy screaming at yourself to move. But the bridge between your intention and your physical action has completely collapsed. You open a new tab. Maybe you just need a 5-minute break to reset your brain. You open YouTube. You click on a video about restoring antique furniture. You do not care about antique furniture. You are not even enjoying the video. You are watching it as a hostage to your own avoidance. You are stuck in a scrolling trance, entirely paralyzed. Every single second that ticks by adds another heavy brick to the wall of guilt building in your stomach. You look at the clock. It is 3 in the afternoon. The entire day is slipping away. The guilt rapidly metastasizes into shame. This is the dark, isolating side of executive dysfunction. You start telling yourself stories about your own worth. You think, I am broken. I am a grown adult and I cannot do a basic administrative task. Everyone else manages their lives just fine. Everyone else can just do things. Why is my brain like wading through wet cement? You feel a tightness in your throat, a physical pressure in your chest. You're trapped inside a body that simply refuses to obey your commands. It is a localized, quiet paralysis that nobody else can see. To your roommate or your partner, you just look like someone chilling on their laptop. Inside, you are screaming. This paralysis bleeds into your personal life too. You think about the text message from your best friend that you haven't answered in 4 days. You love your friend. You want to talk to them. But the mental energy required to formulate a response, type it out, and engage in a conversation feels like climbing a mountain with no oxygen. You leave it unread. You isolate yourself, convinced that you are a bad friend, a bad worker, a bad adult. But then you take a deep breath. You force yourself to close the laptop. You close your eyes. You have to remember something crucial right now. This is not a moral failing. This is not a fundamental flaw in your character. This is executive dysfunction. Imagine your prefrontal cortex, the front part of your brain, as the conductor of an orchestra. It is supposed to organize your thoughts, prioritize tasks, and tell the musicians when to play. But in a brain struggling with executive dysfunction, the conductor has lost to sheet music. Furthermore, the brain relies on a neurotransmitter called dopamine to bridge the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. Dopamine is the spark plug. If a task lacks immediate urgency, extreme novelty, or genuine fascination, your brain simply does not produce enough dopamine to fire the engine. You are a car with a perfectly good engine, sitting on full tank of gas, but the ignition wire has been cut. Recognizing this neurobiology is the very first step out of the trap. You have to stop calling yourself lazy. You have to name the actual enemy: task paralysis. You cannot leap over a wall this high. You cannot force the engine to start through sheer willpower and shame. You have to dismantle the wall. You don't tell yourself to make the call or write the entire email. That's way too big. The brain immediately perceives it as a threat and rejects it. Instead, you must lower the stakes until they're flat on the floor. You tell yourself, I'm not going to make the call. I'm just going to pick up the phone. I'm just going to hold the physical device in my hand. That's the only task. Your brain evaluates this new instruction. It feels safe. It requires almost zero dopamine. It's a microscopic step. You reach out, you pick up the phone. Okay, the phone is in my hand. Now I'm just going to unlock the screen. I'm not dialing, I'm just looking at the home screen. You swipe up, the screen opens. Your dopamine system gets a tiny microscopic hit of completion. A task was set and a task was finished. You are beginning to build momentum. Now, I'll just type the numbers into the keypad. I don't have to press send. I can put the phone down right after. I'm just typing. You type the numbers, the invisible wall is crumbling. The neural bridge is rapidly rebuilding itself. You take a deep breath, and before your brain has the time to put the wall back up, you hit the green button. You put the phone to your ear. It's ringing. The paralysis shatters. You are finally doing the thing. Let's pause and look at what just happened. If you've ever spent an entire day agonizing over a 10-minute task, watching the hours evaporate while you sit frozen in guilt, you are intimately familiar with executive dysfunction. It's incredibly misunderstood by the outside world. Well-meaning people will tell you to just buy a planner, or just set an alarm, or just do it. They don't understand that the mechanism that translates knowing what to do into actually doing it is fundamentally impaired. You cannot shame your way out of task paralysis. Shame only increases the cognitive load, making the task feel even more daunting and dangerous to your nervous system. The solution relies on momentum and dopamine manipulation. When the front door of motivation is locked tight, you have to sneak into your own brain through the side window. By breaking the task down into absurdly small, almost laughable micro-steps, you completely bypass the brain's threat response. You trick your nervous system into motion. And once the physical body is in motion, the brain usually follows. If there is one thing you take away from this experience, let it be profound self-compassion. You are not lazy. You are fighting a hidden, exhausting battle against your own neurobiology. When you hit that invisible wall, stop punishing yourself. Step away from the shame. Lower the barrier to entry until it's literally effortless. And remember that you are not the only one who struggles to cross the starting line. Millions of brilliant, capable people fight this same fight every single day. If you've ever felt this paralyzing wall, drop a comment below and share the small tricks you use to get yourself moving. Your personal strategy might be the exact key someone else needs today to finally break the paralysis.